Hi, so I'm going to talk about helping Korean university students with word stress. The learners that I did this activity with yesterday were freshmen whose CBT scores range from 260 to 540, except for one student who got a 720. So that means that levels range from A1 to B1. And the rationale for helping them with word stress is that Korean tends to be on the syllable timed end of the spectrum. So if this issue isn't addressed, they often tend to sound robotic. So the activity was focused on dialogues. I had the 7 students work in teams of 2, 2, and 3 to first unscramble 6 sentences. I gave each team 2 sentences. They unscrambled them and then wrote them on the board and produced something like this. And then as a class, they had to unscramble the dialogue and produce this, minus the underlined words. I mean, they didn't underline the words at that point. Then we talked about content and function words. For simplicity's sake, I called them information and grammar words. So we looked at number 1, which they said they didn't understand, obviously, and then number 2, which they did understand, though they recognized that the sentence wasn't good. And then they helped me put the sentence together to form this correct form. And then I read it stressing the information words, the content words, and all of the words. And they were able to hear the difference and recognize that it was the information words that needed to be stressed. And they were also able to understand how this differs from Korean in that they tend to stress all the words the same. So then we went back to the dialogue and they helped me find and underline the content words for proper stress. And then we did some drilling. Some of the students read A and some B, and then they switched, and we continued drilling that way, doing some slot substitution just for extra practice. And then they used this as an example and also their books to create their own dialogue on their teams. And then they had to find and mark the words that needed to be stressed, and I helped them with that. If they didn't understand right away which words needed to be stressed, I read the sentences for them and helped them find them. And then they practiced and presented their dialogues. And they did a decent job with regard to that. Like I said, as far as the response is concerned, they were able to hear the difference and understand why some words are stressed and some aren't. Information versus grammar words. And they were able to tell me that this is different from Korean, which tends to stress all the words equally. And their dialogues that they presented were decent. This is something that we work on in different ways throughout each semester because they have a couple of speaking tests, a midterm and a final. And when we reviewed the lesson at the end, one of the students asked if this was essential for English, the stress issue, and that was her word, essential. And so, yeah, we talked about that a little bit more. But overall, yeah, the reception was good, the response was good. They seemed to grasp it rather readily and do a good job. So, thank you.